Hello, everyone. I'm Julia Yeary, and I'm the Director of Military Family Projects. So glad you could join us today for our session on changing how you think about stress.
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Greg Leskin. I serve as Program Director for the Military and Veteran Families for the National Child Traumatic Stress Network. It's a real pleasure to be with you today. We receive so many messages that stress is bad for us. Stress has been linked to the cause for a number of major illnesses, including heart disease and obesity and cancer. And recent research which would suggest that how a person thinks about stress, either positively or negatively, may actually play a greater role in determining these types of health outcomes rather than the amount of stress itself. So we're gonna focus in on these findings today, including some research that was recently published by Yale University that reports that this report specifically examines the types of outcomes when people have positive beliefs versus negative beliefs about stress. They call the positive view stress is enhancing mindset, and the negative view is referred to as stress is debilitating mindset. This stress is debilitating mindset refers to beliefs that stress can be harmful or painful or even cause more stress or anxiety. When researchers examine those people who have a stress is enhancing mindset, they found the opposite. People with stress is enhancing mindset have the belief that can be an opportunity for growth or a reminder to motivate them to improve their health, productivity, relationships, and learning. They experience much greater energy, a positive and hopeful outlook, and better relationships with others. So let's think about our stress and our reactions to stressful experiences. Stress is generally thought of as a reaction to an encounter of some type of when we encounter some type of adversity or a challenge in reaching our goals. We can all relate to the frustration of driving to an appointment and encountering sudden traffic that causes us to become late, despite all of our careful planning. That is a great example of a common stressful experience that will elicit a stress response, with our bodies experiencing increased arousal or tension, and a narrowing of thinking, including focusing on negative outcomes. Like, if I'm late, people are going to be mad and upset at me. A stress is debilitating mindset might avoid any stress at all as a means to prevent or avoid any potential for negative stressful arousal or thinking. However, avoidance might make things even worse as it prevents opportunities for active problem solving, communication, or the development of alternative solutions to reach our goals. With stress as enhancing mindset, we can effectively utilize our stress response as a motivator to address problems effectively, rather than seeing demands and stress as depleting or harmful. It might even be true in the case of chronic stress. While there is certainly research suggesting that chronic stress might be deleterious and cause wear and tear to our bodies and minds, there's also research to suggest that chronic stress can lead to increased immunity and health, mental toughness, heightened awareness, positive perspectives, a sense of mastery, strengthened priorities, deeper relationship, a greater appreciation for life, and increased sense of meaningfulness. These positive outcomes from stress are thought to be related to the individual's mindset about stress rather than any particular type of stress, the severity or amount of stress, or our coping strategies. The stress is enhancing mindset is a frame or lens on stress that helps an individual organize the information and understand their experience and address it successfully. As a military family, you might know and even embody the stress is enhancing mindset. Military family life is oftentimes noted for a sense of continuous challenges related to separation, moves, transitions within the community, and deployment. Military families often rely quickly on one another to make sense of these challenges and support each other during periods of high stress and rapid change. One of the great benefits for military children growing up within the context of the military culture is learning and exposure to a stress is enhancing mindset that can become an integral part of learning and growth for a lifetime.
For your littlest family members, there's a very important role that your stress is enhancing mindset plays. When you're able to shift your stress perception to a place where you're able to regulate your own emotions, find the positives within the stressful situation, and then convey that positive attitude along with a sense of safety for your young child, it results in a very real buffering effect from potentially toxic stress. We've talked before about the sympathetic nervous system, that fight, flight, or freeze response that our body goes into when stressed. This is a normal reaction to stress. Our heart beats faster, or our respiration gets shallow, our digestive system stops, and we go in high alert, ready to respond to danger, right? Well, it's not good for anyone to experience long-term high stress states, and it really is detrimental to babies and young children. Chronic high stress can actually change brain architecture, and babies who are still growing their brain can have an effect where they have a larger limbic system wired for danger, wired for reacting to whatever's going on around them, and a smaller prefrontal cortex, or our thinking brain, which really translates to a child who's chronically stressed. They're quicker to respond to a situation with anger, have a harder time controlling their impulses. Children exposed to extreme stress or a traumatic experience who has a parent who's able to nurture them, provide a sense of consistency and predictability, and who helps their child know that they're safe, they actually don't secrete as high levels of stress hormones like cortisol, and they return much more quickly to their non-stress state. So your work to create a stress is enhancing mindset is truly worth the effort.
There are ways to begin to build a positive stress is enhancing mindset. It might be helpful to think about a recent stressful experience and to think about how your body and mind responded to the stress and to see if those responses may have been working in your favor to help you in that moment. Think about how your body responded. Was your heart pounding? Were you focused on the source of the stress? Your body and mind were orienting you and providing you with the energy, attention, and motivating you to speak, perform, or act in some way. A positive stress is enhancing mindset is an overall frame that these reactions these normal reactions can serve to benefit us and help us to achieve our goals. Stress might also serve to bring us together with others. During a stressful experience, you might have experienced the need to be with your friends, your family, and children, or feel greater sensitivity to others' needs. This is part of the stress response that is linked to pro-social reactions, community building, and can lead to closer relationships. Sometimes the stressful part of an experience prompts you to think about it more, to analyze it, make sense of it, or talk through it with others. This is an example of how having a stress is enhancing mindset might help you to process your experience and allow you to grow or learn. People with stress is enhancing mindset see stress as an opportunity to think positively, not to go down a narrow tunnel of negative thinking, but to learn and grow from their experience, to experience stress as enhancing performance and productivity, improving health and vitality, and seeing these effects as positive to be utilized now and in the future.
When your child sees you respond to a stressful situation by focusing on what you can do, they actually learn that they too can solve problems and they can develop a stresses enhancing mindset. Or to put it another way, that we can grow through tough times and adversity. Little ones are curious and are always watching, right? Checking out what you're doing and learning from what you do. So take advantage of opportunities when you need to call upon your learned strategies to move from a negative stress space to a stresses enhancing frame of mind, to let your little ones see that there's different ways to solve problems and different ways of using strategies to take care of yourself. um, from seeing you take care of your strong emotions by practicing self-care, by being mindful and intentional in your response, your little kids are learning how they can be. Take, for example, the very normal occurrences, as Greg mentioned earlier, of driving down the street and how much stress that can evoke. Driving by itself can be stressful. You throw in traffic and the need to be someplace on time. It can get tense, right? That's why there's a lot of road rage incidents and all of that. So let's say you're driving and you have to be somewhere, you have an appointment, and the person in front of you is driving really slow, like 15 miles under the speed limit, and you're late for your appointment. Your kids are strapped in their car seats in the back, and you're feeling all of this tension. What can you do? Well, if you're like most people, it's like, come on, what the heck? Come on, you idiot, right? But think about it. What lesson is your child learning from this? How are they learning about handling stressful situations? How about if you say, this driver is going so slowly, and since we're late, it's making mommy feel very stressed. I can't make them go faster, and I can't pass them safely. So I think I'm going to take some deep breaths to help me stay calm. Wow, that helps. Sometimes I can't change what's happening, but I can change my stress level by taking some deep breaths. I guess I can learn from this to give myself a little bit more time to get where we need to go. Now, what is your child learning, right? Big difference. Okay, you can even go back after that. What are you doing? You crazy driver, get going kind of response after exhibiting behavior that you wish you could take back. You can share with your child, boy, my yelling at that driver was really silly. It didn't change a thing, and it just made all of us feel more stressed. I think I'm going to try stop yelling and when I'm mad and see if I can't take a deep breath instead. And then I think I'm going to really focus on what can I do differently. Again, helping your child see that you're trying to learn through this experience. Observing you in action is your child's first, and I would argue most powerful lesson in problem solving and in trying to develop this stresses enhancing mindset. I remember when I used to think that I always had to present a calm and be an almost perfect mom for my kids. What I didn't know is the power of letting my kids see me use strategies toward this stresses enhancing mindset. By letting them witness this, by letting them hear some of the things that I was doing to try and help myself be calm, first of all, let them know that no one is perfect, right? And that all of your emotions are fine to have. It's what we do about those emotions, how we manage them, and how we learn from them that's important. But also it helped them to see that there's very specific strategies that you can use when you are feeling stress and that you can learn from it. I want to share with you some great resources for you to help in your efforts to help create this stresses enhancing mindset, starting with our 0 to 3 app, Babies on the Home Front, with articles on how I can learn to be calm that's based on your child's developmental stage, as well as ideas to help you with your own calming. So check out babiesonthehomefront.org and know that it's totally free. You'll also find lots of great articles on setting your young child up for success, helping them to develop the self-esteem that's needed for growing this positive mindset on our 0 to 3 website. One article in particular you might be interested in is developing self-confidence from birth to 12 months. And we have that link in the chat for you to check out. Of course, Military One Source always has lots of resources for you to check out too. And if you'd like to talk with someone more about this or want to learn how to have a stresses enhancing mindset, consider talking with a military family life counselor or a counselor through Military One Source. As always, we'd like to thank you for all you do for yourself, for your family, and of course, for our country. Thank you so much.